Good morning, friends. You ready to sing with me? The sun is shining. Good morning, and we're all smiling. Good morning to everyone. Hooray, hooray. Have a good day. Wonderful. Let's go into Twinkle, Twinkle. You ready? Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Great. Let's do one more. Why don't we do, you guys do head, shoulders, knees, and toes with me? Even though you can't see my knees and toes? Do you want to give it a try? All right. Get comfortable. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes, knees and toes. Eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes, knees and toes. Can we do it faster? Do you think we can? Head, shoulders, knees, and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes, knees and toes. Eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes, knees and toes. Great. I think we can do it even faster than that. Let's try. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes, knees and toes. Eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes, knees and toes. Great job. Now, if you wanted to, you could really slow it down too. We're not going to do that right now. Oh, but to see how slow you could move, that might be fun too. So yesterday, we planted some seeds. We started them in the container, and we're going to see what happens. Not a whole lot has happened yet. There's our pumpkin seed. Not doing much of anything yet. Our sunflower seed. Our carrot seed seems to have sank into the paper towel, so who knows what's going to happen with that one. But there's our cucumber seed. And they're hanging out in the jar. You can't really see it on camera, but there's some condensation happening. That means the water is staying in the jar, which is what we want. And our basil seeds are continuing to grow. Very exciting. As well as these mystery flowers, which I actually need to give a little bit more water to. You guys are keeping me on top of my plants. It makes me happy because usually I forget, then I don't water them. Well, today I thought we would talk a little bit about the parts of the plant. So these are flowers specifically that I'm talking about right now. But if you remember from the book, Who Will Plant a Seed? There's many, many ways that seeds can be scattered, right? It can come from fruit, like pears, apples, things like that being carried around, even coconuts, date seeds, things like that. I mentioned ants carrying pine nuts down into their anthill, and that plants, like there's so many different ways that seeds can be spread. But for right now, we're just talking about flowers. And to make it easier because you can visually see the seeds on them, try and think of a sunflower, okay? The big bright yellow sunflower with the seeds right in the middle, right in the middle of the flower. So I made this neat drawing that I will send to moms and dads too. These are the parts of a flower. Now normally I would have this blank and I would have you guys talk to me about what each of these were and see what we could come up with. We don't have that opportunity right now. So I wrote everything in already. And I'm sure you guys know all of the parts already. But who knows? Do you know what they do? We're going to find that out too. So these are the flower petals. They attract the animals and the insects that help to pollinate the flowers. So they make it look bright and pretty and attractive for animals and insects to come over and check out the plant and get the pollen seeds. So right here, whereas in our theoretical sunflower, I didn't draw this like a sunflower, but there's seeds in the middle. And the seeds help the flowers reproduce, right? The seeds are what creates new plants. Then we have the leaves, which are these right here. And they soak in light and air to make food for the plant. That's one of the ways that the plant gets its food, to help it grow. And we've got the stem, which is this part right here, holds up the flower. And that carries water from the roots down here all the way up to the flower. It also holds it up. And these are the roots. This soaks up water and nutrients from the soil. It also anchors the plant to the ground, so the plant just can't blow away or be knocked over. All these parts of this plant are really important. They all do a special job that's really important for the plant to grow. So, this weekend coming up, if you have the opportunity to peek outside a little bit, maybe take a walk around your block, see if you can see any flowers. So many are blooming right now. And see if you can spot these different plant parts. You're probably not going to be able to see the roots, but you'd probably be able to see the rest of it. And you know what? If you happen to have a garden or a park space that you're able to get into for a minute, then if you're weeding, pulling up weeds, then you'll be able to see the roots. And hopefully by next week sometime, we'll be able to see the roots peeking out of our seeds here. So we're gonna find a way to be able to see roots. And you can pull up weeds from my garden and show them to you guys. All right, my friends, we are gonna read a story. This one is called Not Quite Narwhal by Jessie Seema. Do you guys know what a narwhal is before we start? A narwhal is a creature that some people call the unicorn of the ocean because it's got a big horn. They're really cool. I'll see if I can send along a picture of a regular narwhal in the email today. So this is called Not Quite Narwhal. Kelp was born deep in the ocean. He knew early on that he was different from the other narwhals. His tusk wasn't as long as everyone else's. He had different tastes in food. And he wasn't a very good swimmer. But his friends didn't seem to mind, so Kelp decided he wouldn't either. That is, until he was swept away by a strong current. He says, "I wish I were a better swimmer." Kelp found himself at the surface, closer to land than he'd ever been before. High up on a cliff, he spotted a mysterious, sparkling creature. It looked so familiar. It looked like kelp. Kelp swam toward land as fast as he could, which wasn't very fast at all, hoping that he could catch up with the creature that looked just like him. When he finally reached the shore, Kelp felt a little bit anxious. He had never left the ocean. He was nervous about walking for the first time, but the land creatures made it look so easy. He's trying to walk. Oof! It wasn't. Ow! There he goes. Eventually, he got the hang of it. Everything on land was strange and beautiful, but also kind of scary. Kelp began to think he might never find the creature that looked just like him, but as he stumbled out of the forest, land narwhals! Actually, we're unicorns, and by the looks of it, so are you. Kelp had never heard of unicorns before. They taught him all sorts of new things about his tusk. We call them horns. Wow! They introduced him to unicorn delicacies. It's a snow cone. And they showed him how to gallop. There was no doubt that Kelp was, in fact, a unicorn. He was having so much fun that he didn't want to leave. But then he remembered all of his friends under the sea. Kelp missed them terribly, so he said goodbye to the unicorns and returned to the ocean. Come back soon. Kelp swam toward home as fast as he could, which wasn't very fast at all, hoping that the narwhals would still like him now that he was a unicorn. When he finally arrived, Kelp had butterflies in his stomach. It says, "Welcome home, Kelp." Kelp took a deep breath and told his friends the news. It turns out I'm not a narwhal. Of course you aren't. I'm a unicorn. We all knew that. They took it quite well. Kelp was happy to be home, but now that he'd experienced life on land with the unicorns, he couldn't seem to forget them. Did he want to be a land narwhal with the unicorns, or a sea unicorn with the narwhals? Kelp couldn't decide, but then he realized that maybe, just maybe, he didn't have to choose. It says, "I'm a unicorn." He says, do you know what that is? A rhinoceros. Thank you for joining me, friends. I'll be back a little bit later for 2 more stories.